Hi, my name is Naman, and today I'll be presenting my Phantom's Hideout Path project. So just some general facts and analysis. So this is based on GarageBand, so I'm not performing live. There will be 14 pieces or songs. The longest time is 3 minutes and 8 seconds, while the shortest time is 1 minute and 32 seconds. There's a various range of instruments from classical to pop and rock to EDM and to traditional. And there are many forms that I implement, but the most common ones are ABA rondo or simplified sonata form, AV form with a short coda, AB form, and variations on a motive. And sheet music, unfortunately, it cannot be derived because GarageBand does not have a very good MIDI recorder. So I started this in the summer when I got my MIDI keyboard, and every week or two I used to compose a new song, and of course I went crazy with it. So I deleted some of the pieces, and I ended up with this playlist. So for an artistic license, I need an artistic license for publishing through Oclef Music. I would prefer that you record all pieces in one day and the recording to be published by around late October to early December. So this could boost Oclef and Oclef publishing because it's not just classical, but it also has a lot of electronic influence too. And this could encourage other students to try out new forms of music. Thanks for your time and patience. Do you have any questions?
All right, thanks, Naman. Thank you. That's very clever. The ending here with the A on the. Thank you. I like that.
Yeah.
In general, it's very organized. I appreciate the amount of time you put into the presentation here. We're going to go round robin, so I'm going to start with Matt. He can go first. So Dr. Bell's going to talk to you a little bit about what he saw and maybe some feedback he has and any questions he has.
Yeah, that so it looks good to me. I didn't really, I'd have to see the individual pieces to know a little bit about the more of the details. But this definitely seems like an interesting project. I'd say that I think in terms of your timeline, recording it all in one day sounds maybe a little ambitious. So you might want to book out at least, 2 or more days, or maybe like, I don't know, a couple different weekends or a couple different sessions at least. Same with so that was thinking about your timeline where you would be finishing is late October to early December. That's kind of a wide window. So maybe narrow your focus and do something that's really securely accomplishable. So maybe lean towards the late November, early December timeline. Just to be on the safe side. Yeah. Okay. But I mean, that sounds great. I
want to comment on that. So, Naman, I actually understand. So, when you say record, you don't mean record. You mean upload to music. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
So you want to drop it on one day.
That's definitely So I think you probably want to use different terminology because that's what confused. I was a little bit confused about that too. You probably want to say release it on a single day. You don't want to have a multi-release. Some artists, they release their album over a couple of weeks. They'll say, okay, the first track's coming out this week, and the rest of the album's coming out in 3 weeks or a month or something. That's fine. If you want to do it all at once, we can. I had a question specifically about your sheet music.
Yeah.
Why would you not be able to produce sheet music?
I think we can produce it, but not exactly directly. It may take some time.
Right. I think that's something you probably want to consider. And I think that's something you probably want to wrap into this project, because I think that was one of the most successful things about your last project, was that we put this together. And I would like to make this into some kind of book. We haven't actually published the book from before on Amazon. That's something we can still do. And we can wrap that into this project, because you already have that all prepared. Maybe you want to talk, let's have Chris talk a little bit about his point of view on that.
Yeah, I was kind of curious about that, since I think having a basis for a score would be really, really helpful, especially when you're talking about like how it can benefit other students and also like how it can benefit publishing, especially through the company. I mean, it's having the content recorded is awesome, but also having, I think, the physical sheet music, especially for the educational purposes, is a lot more solid. And also, I think GarageBand is not a great score producer, but there's definitely ways you can work around it. And also, I think basing your ideas, like especially if it's MIDI, you can definitely build out a score pretty easily from that information as well.
Okay.
Yeah, Naman, one thing I wanted to interject here is that was going to be my comment, which is I think you just need to book some time with Chris and have him help you work through the software. I don't think you know the software as well as you could know the software to the point where you could say, oh, it actually is not that bad if I use a MIDI approach to building out this score. I don't think it's that hard. You just need to take your time and be a little bit more thorough. You're going to have to do some quantizing and you're going to have to be doing some editing and stuff like that, but it's definitely doable. So maybe you can book some office hours with Chris, and maybe over the course of not one day, but like 6 weeks or something like that, you can figure out how to clean that up. And then the license is totally fine. You already have a license with us, so you already released an album. So we already have you as an artist profile within Apple Music and Spotify and all that. So I think you're okay with that. So you don't need to. You just need to extend that. And then I didn't know if Professor Fong had anything he wanted to add.
Yeah, so this is going to be your second album, right?
Yeah.
Have you given any thought to other aspect of this project other than producing it? What I mean is, you've already produced an album. This is going to be your second one, and it probably will be easier, right?
Yeah.
So have you thought about how you're going to do things beyond just producing it, like promoting it, right? Do you know how many people listen to your last album? Do you have a goal of the number of, how to get your music out there, right?
Yeah.
That's something that I'll be honest, I don't know anything about, and I'm sure we will learn as much from it as you will, right? But it would be interesting for us to learn it together, to how to market an album, right? How to get your music out there, right? Come up with some ideas. We'll support you, right? Come up with some ideas about how to get your music out there. It's an incredible time right now, right? With the internet to get your stuff out there. So start thinking about that, right?
Okay. Yeah.
I don't have an answer for you, but I do have that suggestion.
Oh, yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, Naman, just to follow up on that and to kind of recap everything that we talked about today. So Dr. Bell pointed out that you probably want to narrow your timeline. And I think to kind of connect with what he said and what Professor Fong said is maybe what we can do is you come back in early November and say, hey guys, my album's done. Or whatever. Maybe at middle of November, hey, my album's done. Now I need to figure out how to market it. Right? So like Professor Fong was saying, maybe what we got to do is we got to figure out how do we promote you? Do we need to do some kind of like press release? What do we do? Like what? So maybe go through and come up with 5 to 6 good ideas, and then maybe we can start testing those ideas. Because like he was saying, maybe that's a beneficial thing for not just you, but for other students who want to do albums in the future. And then what Chris said, where he was kind of checking in on the sheet music, not only from a production standpoint, but also to benefit Oclef Music Publishing and all other students. We do want to get that sheet music out. So you'll need to email him, book some time out with him. And then, yeah, let's plan to have you return in about 2 months, maybe a little bit more. And you can book a date with me. So early to mid November, whatever. And at that point, we should have already, you have all your album put together, and let's see if we can come up with a good idea to get it out there, and get it promoted. Okay. Do you have any questions?
So like, what do we do after? So we we first record it, then we advertise it, and then we release it, or do we release it and then advertise it?
Yeah, so this is probably something that we'll want to take care of after everything is all tied up Like you got everything, it's all tidied up. You got the whole album put together. You're happy with the way it looks. You've got the sheet music put out there. I don't know. Maybe we have there's a lot of different ideas. Maybe we have some students play some of those pieces and we record, or I don't know what we do. There's like Professor Hong was saying, he doesn't know. I don't know either. It could be 1,000 different ideas. But as far as process goes, let's get the whole album like pretty much almost done. And then once we have that almost done, come back and meet with us, and we'll start to ideate and brainstorm on how we can help you. But have some ideas when you show up.
So, do I send you like an email or something with the pieces?
Yeah, so once you have the album finished and you've met with Chris, say 5 or 6 times, and he's helped you, at that point, then let's have another meeting.
Okay.
That's the next step, all right?
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. All right, good. We'll see you in a little bit. Take care.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.